Fantastic. So welcome everybody. So welcome Adam and Claire, Danny, Jade, Larry, Mark, Rani, Arima, Sarah and Will. And Sabina is listening as well from our 9 dots. Okay, so welcome to Properly Motivating Those You Manage. So joining the dots then is our free webinar series that ties together all of our free and paid for elements around a certain topic. So you have one-stop place to learn about different subjects and get ahead in that subject. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to download a handout which accompanies this session. And we'll be asking you a few questions as well about where you are with your development plan, so we can actually gain that relevant information so we can tailor any future programs to you as well. So today's session then is going to last around about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to explore how to properly motivate those you manage. Okay, I'm going to be recording the session, as I said, as you may use snippets for marketing purposes, but also the great thing is later this afternoon it will be sent out to you as well, so you can re-listen to the topic. Okay, so if anybody does have any problems with that, please do let me know. Okay. So let's go through the domestic side while we've still got some people joining. Hi Sinead, hi Hannah, thanks for joining. Great then, so it is an interactive session. So the great thing is we've got the mute button, so please mute yourself when you're not talking, just to stop that background noise for everyone. But please take yourself off mute and join in the conversation if I ask a question. Or we've also got that chat function as well. So the chat function at the bottom there is the little speech bubble. So you click on that and you can either send a message to everyone or a particular person. Okay, so you can see everybody's name on there, and my name on there at the moment is Client Services. So my name is Kerry Clarkson. I'm a trainer here at 9dots Development, and I'm really pleased to be joining you today on this session. So as we said, we're all in one classroom, so please make yourself at home, please make yourself comfortable. As I said, I'll send you the workbook in a minute so you can make your own notes. We'll have a whiteboard as well, so when I ask you questions, I'll be writing the answers on there and we'll refer to that. As I said, about 45 minutes to an hour. And we will have a breakout session as well. And what I mean by that is I'll put you into separate rooms so you can actually talk to each other. Okay, I'll explain a bit more about that when we come to it. Okay, so first of all then, let's get this handout to you. So in your chat box that I referred to before, okay, in there, if you have a look now, you can actually see a link. Can everybody see that? So when you click on that link, it will take you to an external website. So and it'll say it's an external link, but that's fine. It's a 9dots link, so that's fine. So you might have to put a few details in, but it will open up the workbook for you, and you can follow what I'm going through today. And the workbook looks like this. So it takes you through everything we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so you can either make notes on your own pad or make notes on your workbook. Any questions so far? Everyone happy? I'll just wait a few minutes just to make sure you've managed to download that workbook. Okay, everyone happy? Please shout if you haven't managed to download it yet, either on chat or on audio. Right, okay, so let's start then. So the objectives then, by the end of today, we're going to be defining what motivation is. There's different types of motivation. There's intrinsic, extrinsic, so we'll look at those. We'll look at new and different ways to motivate people as well. But what's really important is to actually specifically match the motivator to each person in the team, because everyone is individually motivated by different things. So first of all, then, let's talk about motivation as a whole. And so if I were to ask you what motivation is, you might give me an example such as a pep talk. And that's about inspiring people in the short term to go that extra mile. And it could work for some if you're a good orator, and you learn how to make these rallying speeches, and you could get the reaction that you need. But you do have to have that skill, and it is a short term. So it's like a pep talk. Come on. So let's think about another kind of motivation, such as like a bonus or another type of reward. Is that an example of motivation? Could be, could be. It could be seen as an extrinsic motivation. So what that means is an external reward, which is aimed at making someone display a specific behaviour. It makes sense, but it doesn't actually work in every case, and that's because the mistake's often made that the external reward doesn't actually match their internal need of that person and how they're trying to be motivated. So it's often kind of done to people as opposed to understanding what actually motivates them from within. So intrinsic motivation is a behaviour that rewards an internal need. So such as performing a task because it's personally rewarding to you. Whereas extrinsic motivation involves completing a task or exhibiting behaviour because of outside causes, such as getting that bonus, that reward, or actually avoiding a punishment. Okay. So the key is really to find out what motivates each individual and then best match that external reward, if it's in our power, to that person, and as long as that motivates them intrinsically. Okay. So it's not just like a sheep dip that one size fits all. Okay. So should we actually ask the question to somebody if you're having a one-to-one with them? Okay, so what motivates you? Yes and no. We do need to know what motivates them, but it's kind of put them on the spot. It's not. Most people might say, oh well, money, or it's put them on the spot. It's not a very funny enough motivating question. It's a common response is that money size. So it's digging deeper. It's finding out what's inside them. Why are they coming to work? What do they really value? What is that intrinsic need? Okay, so yes, they might say money, but what is that money buying? Okay, so a question that really works is, what do you enjoy about work? Okay, this way you're more likely to get specific answers from people, and it's not so intimidating to them as well. Okay, so let's do that ourselves then. So I'm going to ask you, what do you enjoy about work? Okay, so either on your chat box or shout it out to me and I will write it up here.
First, I enjoy the challenge.
The challenge. Oh, that's a good one, Danny. I like that. Fabulous. The variety, Sarah. Good one. Yeah.
Yeah, personal interactions.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah. That's why I suppose this last 18 months has been a big challenge, hasn't it? It's been a challenge because we haven't had those personal interactions. Yeah, absolutely.
The opportunity to make a difference.
Oh, I like that. Nice one. Opportunity to make a difference. Fabulous. We've got some on chat as well. Rima, the people you work with. Oh, that's nice. Also, Will, personal development, lovely. Claire, helping each. Oh, that's good. They're coming in thick and fast now. Part of something bigger around here. Really good, yeah. Working towards a common purpose. Oops, I tell you what, you keep me on my toes here, guys. Fabulous. Common purpose. Achieving goals, Mark. Yeah. Sinead, seeing growth in others. Great. Phew. I've caught up with you finally. That's great. Really good, guys. Absolutely brilliant. So again, that is an intrinsic motivation. And what if your manager to ask you, this is what drives you. It's not about that. Yes, we need, and we'll look at that in a moment, we need money to survive, but it's not what drives us. It might drive some people, but it's not what's coming up as answers here about what you enjoy about work, and it's needing to know that about your team as well. Fantastic, thank you for that. We'll come back to that in a moment. Brilliant. Can you all see that, by the way? I just wanted to check that you can see the whiteboard. You don't? Yeah, good. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay. Okay, that's great. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But what you can see from that list is that everyone is individual. There's a range there. So it's really important that we don't just assume that everyone is motivated by the same thing that motivates us. So we have to find out. And that's what keeps that energy, their enthusiasm, their commitment to the role as well. Okay. So we're going to look at a model now that helps us to make sense of these intrinsic needs. Has anybody heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs before? No, some yeses, some no's. So let's go. Yeah, fab. So let's go through it in detail. I'm sorry, Adam, I've just seen yours come through. Being creative to improve processes and develop the business. Absolutely, with processes, because I think with sometimes people, we do processes and think, oh, that's it though, it's been done. But the idea is that continuous improvement, isn't it? Some fabulous ideas there. Okay, let's go back. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is absolutely fantastic visual explanation of motivation. So the basis of the theory is then that there's a hierarchy to the satisfaction of a person's needs, and the suggestion is that we must satisfy the lower need before we can move on to the next one. Okay, because we won't be concerned with the higher ones if the lower one isn't satisfied. So let's go through them in order then. So the physiological then, at the bottom of that triangle there, it's the basics. It's our hunger, our thirst. If these needs aren't satisfied, the human body can't function anyway. So Maslow considered this the most important, as everything else is secondary to that. We wouldn't be able to survive without that. So the second one, the safety and the security then, so one up from physiological, is the shelter, the well-being, the fact that we can experience a bit of order in society, and predictability and control within our lives. So it can be fulfilled by our family and society, so police, schools, businesses, medical care, emotional security, financial security, so employment, social welfare, that law and order, social stability, property, health and well-being. Okay, without that we wouldn't be able to move on to the next one of social belonging. So social belonging then is that need for others, is what we mentioned, that motivation, that interaction, the belongingness. It's that human emotional need for interpersonal relationships, feeling connected, being part of a group. So having that trust, giving each other affection, having that just interaction with others. Okay, again, we wouldn't be able to do that without the others. Self-esteem then when we've achieved those first three, self-esteem, and there's this sense of accomplishment, this self-worth within ourselves. We've achieved something, we have respect, esteem for oneself, that dignity of achievement, but also the desire for a reputation, respect from others, like status and prestige. And then this self-actualization is our ultimate purpose, achieving our ultimate potential, our creativity, accomplishing everything that one can to be the most that somebody can be. Okay, so how I can try and explain Maslow, if you think of Men in Black, the film with Will Smith, then it's like, if you think you were an alien coming to Earth, what would they need to do to kind of pass off as a human? So first of all is that to be able to integrate, they need food and water, they need shelter, then they meet people and interact, and then gradually they look to take over is their ultimate purpose, their self-actualization. Okay, so you can see going through the stages is that ultimate aim. Okay, you may well move up and down. They say if there's you split up in a relationship or you get made redundant again, you may well move up and down, but the idea is you build and go back up. Okay. What are your thoughts on Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Can you see how it works?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, fab, thank you. Great. And we'll look at another model in a moment, but yeah, Maslow's really interesting because it's like kind of things that you take for granted, but it actually really illustrates it. So what I'd like for you to share now on audio, then what I'm going to read out some examples. So what need might be expressed, okay, if I give you some examples now then. So if I say, if someone says I'm motivated by job security, for example, they are relating that to the physiological and safety, because it's being safe, being able to live and to eat. Okay, so if somebody said I'm motivated by working in a team and working with others, which part of Maslow would that be looking at, do you think?
Social belonging.
Social belonging.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Perfect. Great. So what about development? Doing a good job, getting a qualification?
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, perfect. So feeling good about yourself, brilliant. And then last one then, this ultimate promotion that you've wanted for ages, you've worked really hard for.
Self-actualization.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. That's great. Thank you, guys. Okay, then. So with Maslow, then what we'll do is go back to our whiteboard. So let's have a look at some of these then. So personal interactions then, we know from Maslow then is which one do you think?
Social belonging.
Absolutely. Social. Okay, perfect. Okay then. So what about having a challenge?
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. And you can see how you could go through when you speak to your team and yourself, when you look at self-reflection, you can see how you can link that to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and seeing how people are motivated by different things. So the last piece then is the extrinsic side then. So now we know how they're intrinsically motivated. Let's think about those extrinsic rewards. Okay, so some of the rewards could be, for example, recognition. So how could, if somebody says to you, I'm motivated by recognition, what could you do?
Thank them.
Say it again, sorry.
Thank them.
Absolutely, yes, Danny, thank you. Yeah, it's something so simple and costs no money can be an ultimate motivator. A thank you, a well done, that was a great job. Some positive feedback, absolutely. It's an interesting one then, a pay rise. How can we motivate somebody who wants a pay rise?
Makes them work harder.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So see if they want to take on extra challenges. Absolutely, yeah. And if we can, if they deserve it and they earn it, see what you can do. It's not an automatic, you know, we can't do that. See what you can do, but also point out the other benefits that are available as well that might not be money, but if there are other benefits available, such as pensions and healthcare, bonuses, those kind of things that they might not have thought of as extra as a pay rise. If someone says a fun environment, that's what motivates them. What could you do?
Put more equipment in the canteen, like a snooker table and stuff, things like that.
Oh yeah, Danny, I'm going to come and work at your place. Absolutely, yeah. But you're right. It's listening. It's listening to them. Asking them what is fun for them. So, do you want that table in the canteen? Do you want to have a bowling night? Do you want pizza? What is it? What is fun to them? What's the social time to them? Right. Okay. And then if they say it's the people that they work with, what can they do? What can you do to motivate them if it's the people?
Organise events.
Yeah, spend some time together. Nice one, Mark. Yeah, it's let's create some projects then that we can work together. Let's have an open office. But just bear in mind all that time though that there'll be people who might not like that as well. So it's trying to balance and listen to everybody's thoughts.
Yeah, making it inclusive.
Yeah, inclusive is a really good one. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. Thank you. Okay then, so what I'm going to ask you to do now is a little breakout. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to work together to help come up and support each other with identifying and discussing the different need levels and motivators of your team and yourself as well. So think about how you can get them to tell you, and if you know what they are already, what you can do to help match that as well. So thinking about the intrinsic and the extrinsic as well. So how breakouts work is, so I'll put you into different groups, and then when you press join on the screen, it comes up and you press join and it takes you into another room with you and the other people in your group. Then you talk to each other and then you will come back into the main group. Okay. If there's any difficulty, if it throws you out at all, just rejoin the webinar and you'll come back in. Okay. Hopefully there'll be no technical challenges, but if it does, just don't panic, just log back in. So let me just sort that out and I'll put you into the different groups. Let's have a look. Okay then, so just bear with me. 3, 2, 2. Okay, that's great. So in breakout session, we've got Adam, Larry and Sarah. Session 2, we've got Mark, Rania and Will. And session 3, we've got Claire, Danny and Rima. Okay, so what I will do now is press start breakout sessions. You will go into a different room with your 2 other colleagues and talk about motivation with your team then. What have you done so far? How can you find out the intrinsic and extrinsic, and what can you do to satisfy that? Okay, so we'll say about, let's look at the time, say about five minutes or so, and then I'll ask you to come back and just share how you thought that went. Okay, any questions on that? No, great. So just press join when it comes up on your screen and it will take you out into the breakout session. Thanks. See you in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. Fab, so how did you find the breakout sessions? Was it good sharing ideas and experiences? Yeah, you realise that you're not on your own when it comes to that it's challenging trying to work out what motivates people.
Yes, what we found was it was a common theme between most people,
Yes.
surprisingly.
And that's good. Does it make you feel a bit like, you know, it's actually, it's okay not to know everything about everything. That's the idea of having those one-to-ones, those questioning the relationship, it's building that relationship. So we're not meant to know everything about everyone straight away. It's just finding out and building that relationship. But you know, you're not on your own. Everyone goes through that thing, and you know, it's building it. You're not going to know it straight away, and sometimes motivators might change, and that's why having a relationship and communicating with your team is so important. Brilliant. Okay then, right, so let's move on a bit from Maslow now onto another theory that I'd like to share with you. So far, what we've been looking at is about being able to see what people like, what motivates them. But some people are really good at telling you what they don't like about work. And a model by Hertzberg can help us with this. So Hertzberg's model, he looked at it in the 50s and 60s as a means of understanding employee satisfaction. So he looked at the effect of attitude on motivation by asking people to describe times when they felt good or felt bad, and he found there were lots of different responses. And how he described it was something called hygiene factors and motivating factors. So on the slide here, you can see hygiene factors listed as pay, salary, working conditions, and some motivating factors are recognition and advancement. And what Hertzberg found was that people will strive to achieve the hygiene needs because without them, then they're not very happy. But once they have them, once they're satisfied, the satisfaction or motivation is temporary because they've got them. There's like a ceiling on it, so it's not going to keep them motivated all the time. And so what happened is poorly managed organisations failed to see that people weren't motivated by having a clean bathroom or having hot water. That is almost taken for granted after a while. So people were only truly motivated by the hygiene factors need to be satisfied, but the real motivators were very much like the self-esteem of Maslow and the self-actualization of the achievement, advancement, development. Is a deeper meaning and fulfillment. Okay, so some other examples of hygiene factors could be having policies at work that sets out standards, having a good relationship with your manager and your team, the actual work conditions, and that's status and security, like Maslow's. So they're the hygiene. Again, once achieved, there isn't much more you can do. Okay, which is why sometimes pay is looked at one of those that once you've reached a certain level, money doesn't actually do that much more for me now. It's actually the secure, the advancement, my achievement, the recognition the responsibility, actually helping others, doing the work itself. Okay, so Hertzberg was really interesting way of looking at it, and it was really, once you've got the hygiene factors, you really need to look at the extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. Okay, so if your team aren't motivated, make sure all the hygiene factors are satisfied first, and then you can look at that personal development. What is within your power anyway? Obviously, we can't actually sort everything out, but if you know who can sort out some of the hygiene factors, if you know that that's what's damaging team motivation, that's something you could do about it, is to actually sort that out for them. Okay, what are your thoughts on Hertzberg's theory compared to Maslow's? I know they're quite similar, but there's a clear difference, isn't there, between hygiene and motivation factors?
I think it seems to make it more sense for work conditions, if you see what I mean, rather than Maslow is just about the
Life in general kind of thing, isn't
life
it? Yeah.
in itself, to work environment.
Fabulous. Yeah, absolutely spot on, Larry. I agree with you there. It's things like having a toilet, isn't it? And having a kitchen or access to a kettle in work. Whereas at home, it's almost kind of, yeah, taken for granted. Fabulous. Really good, guys. Thank you. Okay, then. So we've talked a lot about motivation, intrinsic, extrinsic, Maslow, Hertzberg. What are you going to do as a result of listening to me today? You've got your workbook as well. What are you going to do differently? Either on your chat or audio, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I think I'm going to speak to my team individually and yeah, just ask them what, motivating factors and what it, yeah, because I assume things, I guess, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually asked any of them. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they say.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's really interesting to say, why do you come to work then? What do you enjoy about it? And because I think sometimes we think everyone's like us.
Yeah.
And it's, and you're not on your own there. And I think they'd really like the fact that you're interested in them, and that would help build the relationship even further then as well. And Claire, you've put on chat here more one-to-one meetings to try and figure out what makes them tick. Absolutely. Even just having a one-to-one motivates people. The fact that you're interested in them, that they're not just a number. And Mark, open up discussions with others to see what floats their boat. Fantastic, yes. But they're not just the bums on seat.
I was going to say, I think for me, it's similar to Sarah, actually spending time with each individual and understanding what motivates them, not just to work out how to motivate them going forward, but also to reduce the damage of frustration in myself, because I would assume that people would get motivated in a certain way, but actually that might not be the case. So I can sit back and be like, why aren't they motivated? Why aren't they doing X, Y, Z? But it's because they, like you say, it's something else that makes them tick. So it's for my own benefit as well as them.
Brilliant. That's really good self-awareness, Adam. Yeah. I mean, it can be something as simple as thinking you're doing something really nice by buying pizza for everyone and going, yeah, guys, yay, have some pizza. But there's somebody actually on Weight Watchers, so you're going to demotivate that person. So it's thinking about, I'd love pizza, but why doesn't that person? But yeah, just pizza as an example. And Larry, yeah, explore the different factors and think about what might be missing. Fantastic, thank you. Absolutely. And individual needs are all different. Yeah, we're not sheep dipping anyone, are we? And it's fantastic, even if you've tried it, because you're trying. It's on the radar, motivation. So fantastic, even if you've tried doing something like that. But the next step is individual motivation, that intrinsic and the extrinsic. Okay. So fabulous, thank you for that. That's great. So what we're going to do next then is we will put in the direction of some of our bonus resources that we've created around motivation. and also provide you with lots of products and services you can use to further your knowledge around motivation, and also give the opportunity to have a free 30-minute consultation with one of our top training experts, who could advise you on your development plans. So that will come out as a pack, and the recording will as well this afternoon to you. So in there, there'll be like blog articles, recommended training programs, links to videos and books, the information about that free consultation, and also a feedback form as well, which will be really great if you could complete that for us. And then the good news is the next session is all booked and ready on the 14th of October. So that is about uncovering and overcoming unconscious bias. So if you enjoyed today's webinar, please go to our website and sign up, share the link with friends, and also leave a comment on our LinkedIn page as well to help spread the word about 9 Dots to everyone. Okay, any questions on anything at all? You want me to go over anything? Happy? Motivated? Fantastic. Thanks ever so much for your time, guys. Really enjoyed spending an hour or so with you. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Have a lovely afternoon. I'll see you again soon.
Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. See you all again.